Did you see this? A humanoid robot. Half-built, exposed wires, dangling from a crane inside a factory, suddenly lost control during a routine test and nearly injured two engineers. The footage, which surfaced from a Belarusian TV repost of Chinese surveillance video, captured the robot thrashing like it was auditioning for the Terminator. In a matter of seconds, what should have been a calibration session turned into a chaos clip that went viral. Flailing limbs, a smashed workbench, scattered bolts, and two engineers scrambling for cover as the machine dragged its suspension cable and slammed the floor. And while social media blew up with Skynet jokes, RoboCop memes, and comments like "Sarah Connor was right," underneath the humor is something very real and very urgent. We're living in a time when robots are no longer theoretical, experimental, or limited to science fairs and tech expos. They're entering real-world spaces, dealerships, warehouses, cafeterias, and production lines, and they're not always playing nice. What used to be science fiction is now a daily headline. This robot freakout wasn't a one-off anomaly. It's part of a larger story, one where countries like China, Germany, and the US are racing to build, deploy, and integrate humanoid machines into everyday life. These robots are walking, talking, helping, selling, building, and sometimes malfunctioning. The truth? We're crossing a threshold in robotics that we may not be prepared for. Let's break it down, starting with the now infamous incident. The robot involved in the meltdown was a humanoid prototype undergoing a range of motion tests. Engineers were standing beneath it, identifying servo motor IDs on handheld tablets. The bot was tethered to a crane, a standard practice when joints are being tuned to avoid collapse. But something triggered a total loss of coordinated control. Every limb activated at once. Arms windmilled at full power. Legs kicked out like pistons. It yanked its cable suspension so hard that it dragged its welded stand across the concrete floor. A nearby PC tower was demolished. Buckets of fasteners flew. One engineer dove sideways. Another slipped while backing away. The entire episode lasted under half a minute, but it was enough to make every robotics engineer in the world flinch. Experts who reviewed the clip speculated that it might have been a runaway torque command, a known hazard when safety boundaries aren't properly enforced in firmware. In such cases, a bot's internal systems misinterpret positioning data, triggering full power output in multiple joints. The result is a robot behaving like it's seizing, dangerous, unpredictable, and nearly impossible to halt without an external kill switch. This one video isn't just a weird moment in tech, it's a warning shot. Because across the globe, humanoid robots aren't staying in the lab. They're already here. Let's talk about Cherry Automotive. Based in Wuhu, China, Cherry is no small startup. It's one of the country's most established car makers, building vehicles since 1997. But at the 2024 Shanghai Auto Show, they didn't just launch a new EV. They debuted Mourin, a life-sized, blonde, ponytailed humanoid android dressed in sunglasses and business attire, standing at the entrance of their showroom booth. Mourin is not just a marketing stunt. She's a fully interactive sales robot, co-developed with AI MOA robotics, and designed to engage customers, hand out refreshments, and respond to questions about vehicle trim levels, performance stats, and price quotes. She speaks with a regionally tuned synthetic alto voice and can hold brief, structured conversations. Underneath her fashion-forward design is some serious hardware. The sunglasses aren't just for looks. They hide a surround view camera array enabling 360-degree spatial awareness. Her fingers are embedded with capacitive sensors that detect light touches and brochure taps. Her face is capable of micro-expressions across 42 articulation points, creating the illusion of attentiveness and emotion. Cherry's president, Zhang Guiying, told a room full of dealers that the market for humanoid robots may eventually surpass that of cars. That might sound extreme, but with Mourin priced around $45,000 to $60,000 USD, and early adopters receiving discounts for high-volume orders, it's a price point within reach for commercial deployments. Cherry has already committed to shipping with 220 Mourins in 2025, with units currently operating in select showrooms in Malaysia and Guangzhou. One viral clip showed Mourin performing a synchronized junk in the trunk dance to upbeat music at a launch event. The comment section exploded. Some viewers were impressed, others slightly creeped out. One top comment read, "Do we need a dress code for androids now?" Cherry isn't alone. Clone Robotics, another Chinese firm, recently demonstrated the Proto-Clone, a muscular humanoid prototype powered by synthetic tendons. Unlike most humanoids, which rely on traditional electric actuators, Proto-Clone simulates biological musculature, making its movements more fluid, powerful, and natural. Clone Robotics says future models will not only cook and clean, but converse fluently with humans. Meanwhile, Hoodoo Robotics has developed the D9, a mobile humanoid robot that walks at 4.5 meters per minute, climbs stairs, and resists toppling when pushed from the side. With its robust gyroscopic stabilization and 5th-gen LiDAR mapping system, D9 can navigate complex environments like restaurants, malls, and hospitals. The big picture? China is scaling humanoids not just for show, but for sale. Let's move to Germany, where Igus, a Cologne-based motion plastics company, is rewriting the rulebook. Known for its industrial polymers and tribology data, Igus spent 15 years optimizing low-friction mechanical components. Now, they're packaging that knowledge into a humanoid robot named Iggy Rob. Iggy doesn't walk, but it doesn't need to. Its humanoid torso mounts on a Rebel Move autonomous base, a wheeled platform with 3-point bearing wheels capable of carrying 100 kg of payload. Its 2 Rebel Cobbett arms use a 6-axis monoblock gearbox system that eliminates the need for lubrication, relying instead on precision polymer actuators. Iggy's runtime? 8 hours. It's powered by a high-capacity lithium pack and navigates using LiDAR, paired stereo cameras, and SLAM algorithms. The system runs ROS2 middleware and is pre-integrated into VDA50 factory management systems, meaning it's plug-and-play with German industrial standards. The most shocking detail: price. At just 47,999 euros, or about 54,500 US dollars. It's significantly cheaper than Agility Robotics Digit and half the projected price of Tesla Optimus. Igus's sales model is refreshingly simple. They'll ship a demo unit to your factory, let you test it live in a real workflow, even something mundane like clearing dishes in the canteen. And if it works, you keep it and pay the invoice. If not, they'll take it back. No lengthy contracts, no vaporware promises, just function-first robotics for Europe's factories. Back in the United States, a different robotics revolution is taking shape, not in mega factories, but in garages and maker spaces. The University of California, Berkeley recently released its Humanoid Light project, a full open-source humanoid platform that can be built for under $4,500. The files, CAD, firmware, training scripts, are all available on GitHub. Standing 88 cm tall and powered by 22 joints, the bot uses a mix of 6512 and 5010 actuators, cycloidal gearboxes, and a $120 Intel N95 mini PC to control 4 1-YB CAN buses at 250 Hz. Power comes from a 6-cell 4000 mAh LiPo battery. Runtime is around 30 minutes, not long, but enough to demonstrate core functions like walking, shoulder movement, object interaction, and basic manipulation. Berkeley's true innovation is in software. The bot's locomotion policy was trained entirely in simulation and transferred zero shot to the physical robot. That means it could walk, balance, and navigate without retraining in the real world. In a demo video, the bot writes its initials with a marker, stacks foam blocks, shrugs on command, and spins a Rubik's Cube. Some users call this the Raspberry Pi moment for humanoid robotics. Others warn that 3D printing gears and PLA won't last under stress. But that's the point. Berkeley wants tinkerers to iterate, improve, and reshare. Already, GitHub's Issues tab is full of mods for higher torque, joints, better batteries, and even payload expansions. This isn't a product, it's a platform, and its purpose is clear: democratize robotics. And finally, let's talk about Hyundai. Since acquiring Boston Dynamics in 2021, the Korean automaker has made it clear they weren't just buying a research lab, they were buying the future of labor. In 2025, Hyundai began integrating Atlas, the legendary bipedal robot, into its sprawling EV plant in Bryan County, Georgia. This isn't for PR, this is for production. Hyundai is investing $21 billion in US operations, with $6 billion specifically going into automation. Their target, 300,000 EVs and hybrids per year, many of which will be assembled, moved, or inspected by robots. Atlas is uniquely suited for factory floors. It can climb stairs, step over conveyor belts, and duck through weld booths designed for humans. That flexibility means Hyundai doesn't need to redesign entire production cells. They can just reprogram robots. That's a massive cost advantage. Yes, labor unions are concerned. The company says these robots are here to assist, not replace. But as uptime improves and costs drop, the line between assistive automation and outright job replacement is bound to blur. One internal source even hinted that Hyundai is preparing to scale humanoid robot integration across multiple global facilities, thousands of units over the next 5 years. So where are we headed? Robots are now selling us cars, building the cars they sell, getting built at home by garage hobbyists, performing full-time jobs, and occasionally losing control and swinging at humans. This isn't a future scenario. This is right now. And the real question isn't when robots will arrive. It's what we're going to do now that they're already here. So what do you think? Are humanoid robots the helpers we need, the competition we fear, or something in between? Let me know in the comments. If this video got you thinking, hit like, subscribe for more deep dives into AI, robotics, and the future we're all rapidly stepping into. And share this with someone who still thinks humanoids are science fiction. Because reality, it's walking among us, literally. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.